Welcome to the Rockstar Principles Podcast, coming straight to you from Rock and Roll, USA, covering the latest and greatest in educational leadership trends, news, and awesomeness for principals all over the world. Now, here are your hosts, the boss, John Ross, and the Doctor of Proctors, Nick Indeglio.
All right, welcome back to the Rockstar Principles Podcast. We are very, very excited about this next segment. We are pleased and proud to announce that a school in our district, the Downingtown Area School District, has been has achieved the ranking as the number one school in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. And let me explain how that happens. Pennsylvania has switched. They got the waiver, the federal waiver, from using AYP and non-AYP, you know, that game that we all played all over America, to now we have what's called the Pennsylvania School Performance Profile, or Pennsylvania SPP. I think you'll hear us reference. Those of you from outside the state may not be familiar with this specific profile. You can find out more about it if you look at paschoolperformance.org is the website. But it's the Pennsylvania School Performance Profile. And what they do is they take various indicators of academic achievement, including our statewide assessments for the most part, and they use those to calculate a score for every school. And you can basically score from 0 to 100. And the Downingtown STEM Academy, which is a magnet school in our district, they pull kids from both high schools, achieved a score of 101.4. So they actually scored above 100, which is blowing my mind, unbelievable. The STEM Academy, as I said, it's a magnet school. It perhaps gets the misnomer of pulling the best kids. I'm doing air quotes, but it's not. It's not necessarily pulling the best kids. First of all, kids in our district are phenomenal. You know, I mean, just unbelievable across the board, top-notch students. So we're very fortunate to work in our school district. But kids, in order to apply to get into the STEM Academy, the only requirement is a C average.
Correct.
That's the only requirement in order to apply. And then they go through an application process. There's a writing sample and various other indicators that they use. But they get into STEM, and hopefully everybody knows what STEM is by now. And they go to this academy, and they use the IB curriculum, the International Baccalaureate program, as their curriculum for the school. And it's very different. It's a whole mind shift in the way of teaching and the way of leading a school. But be all that as it may, the bottom line is that the STEM Academy in Downingtown scored 101. Now, how did they get over 100? Well, the Pennsylvania SPP actually gives you extra credit for having kids score in advanced areas on state assessments. So they did well in regular areas and in growth, in overall scores and in the growth model. And so they already had a pretty high score, but then they got extra credit for the percentage of kids that they had in the advanced range. So kudos, shout out, pat on the back, outstanding job to all of our friends, and especially the students at the Downingtown STEM Academy. Anybody else in Pennsylvania or all over the country, all over the world, you want to find out more about the Downingtown STEM Academy? How would they do that, Nick? You going to talk about the Twitter handles first?
Yeah, well, let's hook them up with STEM first.
Okay.
If you want to hook up just to the district and see everything that's going on in Downingtown, you can by going to @DASD_schools. That's the Twitter handle for the district. If you want to visit the STEM program, the STEM Academy, that is @DASD_STEM. Arthur Campbell is the headmaster at the STEM Academy. It's a fancy word for principal.
He's a fancy guy.
He is pretty fancy. Fancy pants, we like to call him.
Now we do.
Now we do, yeah. We don't really call him that.
At least not to his face.
And we have to recognize two of our favorite Twitter friends.
We have three, but go ahead. You got two.
Okay, we'll hit you
not
with
to interrupt. I'll get you the third one. Go ahead.
All right. First is my buddy Justin Staub, and he is at Dr. Just Dr. STAUB STEM. That's his Twitter handle. And Eric Daney, one of our good science friends, and that is at ERICDANEY, Eric Daney.
And how about the new Dean of Academics and Student Affairs at the Downingtown STEM Academy?
At Zach Ruff?
At Zachary Ruff 1. At Zachary, ZACHARY RUFF, and the number 1. Zach Ruff, who was a social studies teacher at Downingtown East High School, but was recently appointed as the Dean of Academics and Student Affairs at STEM. Zach's a good guy and does a heck of a good job at tackling intruders, by the way.
He does.
As he did at our recent training.
ACT training.
Yeah, ACT training.
You know, John, I can hear it right now. I can hear the people, some of the mountain listeners land. I like to call them the discontents, the malcontents, who are saying...
Naysayers?
The
ne'er-do-wells?
Yes. And they're out there saying, wait a minute. STEM's a magnet school. They get to pick their students. They have a lower population of special ed students. They have a lower population of SED students. They get Apple computers.
That's a pretty good impersonation.
Thank you.
That's what you've been practicing.
Because that's what you hear.
Yeah.
That's what you hear. But let me tell you something.
What do you want to say to those folks?
I want to put some facts in their face. All right?
Hit them, brother. Hit them with the facts.
So we've got the STEM ranking scores, right, that are now out there. Okay, very exciting. But let's take a look at East and West High School, our other two high schools. Now, if this brain drain was taking place the way that the opponents of this score and everything have been saying, that would mean that the brain drain would have caused East and West to be way down the list on the SPP profile score.
Right.
East and West are both in the top 9% of high schools in the state of Pennsylvania. So tell me how STEM has siphoned all from the top.
It's a good question.
If we're in the top 9%.
It's a good question. I've approached those naysayers, ne'er-do-wells, malcontents in a different manner. You know what I've said to them? One of the most difficult things to do is to take advanced kids and keep them going in terms of growth.
Yes.
In other words, your highest achievers continuing to grow and not plateau, right?
Absolutely.
When you look at the scores for the STEM Academy, let's just say, that the naysayers are right, that they have the highest of the high, the best of the best.
Okay, all right.
They are at the top in terms of growth for their students. They scored their scores, the indicators of academic growth on PVAS are all in the top range. They have the blue triangle, if you're looking at the website, to show that, and it's the performance measure is 100. So does that mean 100% of their advanced kids are scoring, are making a year's worth of growth?
Well, possibly.
Essentially?
It could be growth. I mean, the extra credit does play in to a small degree. But for those of you who aren't familiar, let me just tell you this. Here's how that score is calculated primarily. And then now we're talking high school level, not middle school level.
Right.
40% of that score is based on standardized achievement, okay?
Yeah.
So that's your year-to-year straight-up achievement score. Then you've got 40% of that score dictated by your PVAS. That's your growth. That's what you're talking about. So that's a huge chunk of the score there. The rest of that 20% is your graduation rate, your SAT. All of that plays in, and I'm not as familiar with high school, obviously, so I'm probably missing a couple factors here.
Just under PVAS
just under
itself,
PVAS alone,
just under PVAS itself, and I'm showing Nick the chart right now. They have blue triangles across the board for math, for reading, for science, across the board.
That does,
my point
kids
is,
who took that test, at least. I mean, because
all the kids that took the test, so they're not plateauing.
Correct.
They're advanced kids. If they supposedly had the best of the best, they're all still. So these teachers that are working with these kids are taking if you buy the misnomer, best of the best, and they're still getting them a year's worth of growth. Mm-hmm. So what more can you ask out of people? You know what I mean?
You can't ask anything more.
These kids are so smart, so bright, so eager, and they're still getting them a year's, if not more, worth of growth. So I think that speaks highly of the job that they're doing at Downingtown. And by the way, also happening at both East and West High School.
Well, it's like we said earlier. I mean, you don't want you're not in the top 10% of every high school in Pennsylvania unless you're doing something right.
Right.
And we're not going to talk about those scores obviously because right now we're kind of celebrating what that banner at the top of the page is. But let me say something else, and I'm willing to put a bet out there, and hopefully we have everyone at the STEM Academy listening. And I think we probably will get close to 100% agreement from the staff on this next statement. I don't see the teachers at STEM running around saying, we're the top school in Pennsylvania, we're the greatest, we're the greatest. Here's what I see. I see a group of people who walked into a new setting with new opportunity, who helped build and develop that program, who said, and probably are still saying, anything less than being the number one school in Pennsylvania would have been a disappointment.
That's right. This is a school.
This is what we've worked for.
This is a school that is in its 4th year of existence.
Yep.
This is their first year. Last year was their first year of having juniors to do the state assessments. Mm-hmm. So this is their first year of counting, quote unquote, in terms of scoring. So, this isn't an established school that's been around. I mean, these were people that, came to that school with a passion, to do this. So it's just top to bottom, just an outstanding job. And I know Nick and I are both very proud to, to be somewhat tiny, in a tiny way affiliated and even a little responsible, I guess, in that our kids go up to all of our secondary schools, our high schools. Mm-hmm. So, if it wasn't for the outstanding job, and I'm sure the STEM folks would agree, as Nick is saying, that, that we get at the middle school level and the outstanding job at our elementary, I just think this is a great thing for our entire district.
Absolutely.
That we have the number one school in the Commonwealth, and that all 3 of our high schools are in the top 10% in the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. 500 school districts, thousands of schools. That's just awesome.
One more quick thing there, and just to put a bow around it to a small degree. If you're checking out PA Performance now and you haven't taken a look, there is one thing I do want to caution you out there, and hopefully we do have some parents listening and everything. The whole point of this SPP is to put kind of everyone on as much of a level playing field as possible. That's why they assign a score out of 100 points essentially, so you can sort of understand that number, where the ranking falls, and compare it to other schools. But you got to be careful how you compare. The criteria are different at each of the 3 levels. You can compare elementary schools to elementary schools in the score. You can compare middle level scores. You'd have to look a little bit more carefully at the grade breakdown for middle school.
Yeah, because not all middle schools are 6, 7, 8.
Yeah, you've got a range of different configurations there.
Yeah, some have 5, 6, 7, 8, which is a double whammy. They've got both, because 5th and 8th grade in Pennsylvania. Yep. 5th and 8th grade are the years where they do actually multiple tests.
Heavily tested, definitely. Yeah. And then the high school scores you can compare. But I highly strongly advise you not to look at a high school score and compare that to an elementary score or a middle school score. It to a degree, it's apples and oranges.
Yeah.
And you got to always remember that there's variability. So, if you have an extremely high PVAS growth and a lower achievement growth, you're looking to kind of balance things out. And this is something that I think is going to evolve over the next couple years. But could it get any better? First year out of the gate, and STEM sitting there at the top. So.
Congratulations, all the Twitter folks we mentioned, Art Campbell, the headmaster, everybody at the STEM Academy. We're proud of you. We're proud to be affiliated with you. And for all of our listeners, you should check it out, man. Downingtown STEM Academy. Just Google that, and you'll find out information on them and the stuff that they're doing. And, hit us up on Twitter. Maybe we could set up a tour. Anybody wants to come and see the program they got there. I'm sure
all the time.
I'm sure our friends would be more than happy to have some guests. And, there's nothing better than being able to show people how it's done.
How it's done.
Is that a song?
Nope, I just made it up.
We need to write one.
Okay.
All right, we'll be right back. We're going to write a song right now. We'll be right back with more of the Rockstar Principles podcast.
And now a word from our fake sponsors. But we'd really love if they were our real sponsors. Seriously, we would love it.
Geez, John. Do you ever feel so lonely that there's no one to talk to, no one who understands you? Or you go home at the end of a long workday and your wife and your kids want to talk about your day, but you just don't feel like it because they don't understand what it's like and they can't really relate to it?
Well, as a matter of fact, Nick, I used to feel that way a lot, but that's happening less and less now that I've started getting on a bunch of those Twitter chats that we're so fond of. If only there were a Twitter chat that were geared specifically for the principals.
You mean a chat dedicated solely to principals on topics that relate directly to principals?
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
If only there was an organization who wanted to get behind that idea with the Rockstar Principals to make it a reality.
You mean like the Pennsylvania Association of Elementary and Secondary School Principals?
That's exactly what I mean.
Led by Dr. Bill Ziegler, who you can find at Dr. Bill Ziegler on Twitter.
You mean Ziegler Ziegler?
And the doctor is just Dr.
Just Dr.
Dr. Bill
no
Ziegler.
Period.
No. Dr. Bill Ziegler. Well, not spelled out Dr. D-O-C-T.
Dr.
I'm sorry, I digress. Yes. Dr.
Yes.
Bill Ziegler, the president of the Pennsylvania Association of Elementary and Secondary School Principals, has approached the Rockstar Principals to do a joint effort and begin a Twitter chat geared just for principals, not just for Pennsylvania principals, but principals all over the world, and actually anybody that's interested in the work of the principalship. So if you're an aspiring leader,
Absolutely.
If you're somebody who's a teacher, who's an aspiring administrator, or maybe if you're a superintendent who wants to, get in on the chats that are going on in the lives of principals, but not that we don't enjoy all of the other chats that go on all around, which we do. We get so much from our PLN and everything that they offer and that we hear from in all of those chats. We really wanted to start a chat that was just geared toward the principalship. So all of our topics are going to be focused from the principal lens, and we're going to try to give you guys, our fellow principals or aspiring principals, a voice and give you an opportunity to really speak from the principal's perspective.
And we want to get everyone in the country and the world to join us, because right now we know the Rockstar Principals podcast is hitting 48 states. It's hitting 30 plus countries. We want all of you to join us on Twitter during this chat to lend a voice for a global communication.
I thought you were going to say domination for a second there.
We'll get to that. We will get to that. I think our first one we might not want to go for
domination.
Global domination at the Spectrum.
No one outside the Philadelphia area got this Spectrum reference,
okay.
But that's all right.
So yeah,
first one's going to be January the 9th. I think we're going to shoot for Thursday nights.
Yep, Thursday nights.
Thursday nights at 8 p.m. Thursday nights at 8. I think we chose Thursdays because we decided that most school board meetings are on Tuesdays and Wednesdays.
Yep.
So we thought maybe most leaders, as much as maybe some of us would like to do Twitter chats during school board meetings, that would be inappropriate, and we're not going to do that. So our first one's going to be on January the 9th. No, you read comic books during school board meetings.
Yeah, I do.
January the 9th at 8 p.m. So mark that down on your calendars. We hope you can join us. And things go well, we'll try and shoot for every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Okay?
And since it's early now...
Oh, we got to make sure we mention the hashtag, too. I'm sorry.
And that's not as big of a deal at this point. But yeah, we want to give it to them. We're gonna try to make this an event, so we're not going to give you the topics yet. We're going to save that till we get a little bit closer. And we might have some cool prizes and stuff as well. But we're going to get as we get closer. But anyway, give them the hashtag.
Prizes for us?
Well, I'm hoping we get something out of it. We're going to get... educated.
There you go. And we're also world domination too.
Yeah,
that's later,
yeah,
but don't leave that part out.
We'll get there.
Okay, so the hashtag for the Twitter chat on January 9th at 8 p.m. is going to be hashtag PAESSP chat. PAESSP chat. And again, we wanted to include that because we wanted to give props to the Pennsylvania Association of Elementary and Secondary School Principals. They're the force behind this. Dr. Bill Ziegler has really been supportive of the Rockstar Principals ever since we talked to him the first time about it back at the conference back in October. He's really been pumping us up and giving us a lot of support. So we're really looking forward to starting this. So hopefully you can join us on January the 9th at 8 p.m. That's Eastern time, by the way. 8 p.m. Eastern time. And the hashtag, once again, hashtag PAESSP chat. Awkward silence.
Thanks for helping RSP top the charts in the Edu podcast world. Keep it real with Twisted Steel and School Appeal.